Hey everyone, welcome to my vlog number 2 from the GCSAA conference. I don't think you really want to see me, so I'm going to flip the camera around real quickly. Hold on. Okay, just showing you around live, and it's still actually quite cold. So this is the convention centre. Well, this is part of it. So in Orlando there are two, well, there's one convention centre, but two, hold on. This is a good fight. No, I'll go this way. There's actually two, there's a rest. Okay. So, two convention centres. That's the first one, which is the old one, and there's a new one sort of down that way, across the road. Can't really see it from here though. So this is the area, the entrance. So you come here, you got the Rosen Centre. So, if anyone's ever stayed in the US, Rosen's a huge hotel chain. There's the Rosen Centre here, the Rosen Plaza, and the Rosen Inn. I'm actually just heading off to the Rosen Plaza for a meeting. There's a Hyatt Regency, which a lot of people stay at, which I'd love to stay at, but a little bit too expensive. So, keep on walking and talking about today. So, first day of the talks, they finished earlier today than they have in the past. Usually they'll go 8 till 5 with obviously 2-hour or 4-hour lectures. This year they finished off at 3 o'clock, so get a bit of an early mark, which is probably not the best. I'd come over this way, I'd rather the whole day, but you know, they do what they do. Anyway, I went to the first one I went to this morning was understanding turf grass fungicide. So I've been to that one before. This is my third time. So the great thing about the talks is the speakers update them regularly. This talk's been going since 2009. Dr. Rick Latin from Purdue University, well, he's retired now, but he was at Purdue University. He started back then, and I did it. I remember it was on a Friday of all times. I think it was on 2009. I can't remember where that was. Anyway, it was 2009, and it was on a Friday morning, which made it a bit difficult, but it still was a very good seminar. I did it again a few years later and doing it this year. But this year, there's Dr. Wendell Hutchins from Arkansas University, who some of you hopefully know that name because I've interviewed him on my podcast, and I've got to know him quite well. We met up in Japan earlier on this year. Very, very smart turf pathologist, and it really worked well with Dr. Latin as well. So that's one I'd highly recommend. So I pretty much went through fungicides, how they work, how they, systemic wise, how they enter the plant, how they, limitations, placement, efficacy on things. The biggest takeaway I got was probably more refining fungicide program, fungicide application with different water volumes and the like. But pretty much it was with fungicide, you can't water and pass it. Don't worry about fungicides and getting them through the thatch. So don't worry about washing them through, because they don't. Sorry about it for all the stoppages, just making sure I'm going the right way, which I think I am. So don't worry about them getting washed through. They don't. They bind. They bind really, really well. You can't get them down so far in terms of that they'll wash away. So, especially contact fungicides, obviously different. Like a mancozeb or a thiram, you can wash them away quite easily with enough rainfall. But when it comes to systemic fungicides, they'll get in the plant. They'll move in very quickly. Biggest thing is, and I've been saying this for a while, you need to water a fungicide and you do it straight away. Don't leave it hanging on the leaf. Simple as that. Target your sprays to where you need to get the product. That's the key. That's what you've got to do. So they're just a good takeaways there. New product wise, nothing coming out. Not that I know of. There is a new Pythium fungicide they've had here for a few years called Serrata. I don't know if it ever see the light of day in Australia. FMC are the one who own it, but I don't know what's going to happen there. It is a very good product. It tends to be used in conjunction with Cyazofamid, which is obviously our Chino fungicide, our new one for Pythium. As a rotation basis, works excellent. That's a great sort of Pythium root rot, root dysfunction blight program. But we've got propane for that these days anyway. With that, so there's nothing new, unfortunately. A lot of combinations out there, and that's what we'll probably see. More combinations of everything else. Second talk I went to was integrating biological products in your program. This was good. Could have done a lot more with it. They spoke a lot about nematodes. and their use. And look, they've got a use. I know some people have used them successfully, but the problem with using them obviously is you've got to spray when the issue's there. You've got to spray them in the evening. You've got to use a lot of water. One of the things I probably learned was more look at obviously keeping your soil moist beforehand and afterwards. Look also at doing split apps about 7 days apart, using half rates. That tends to work quite well. Mixing with full azanam on emerald can actually help increase efficacy, more so for black cutworm here, so sort of like an armyworm, Leptodophorus species. So those type of things. They did talk about other sort of biologicals, and I spoke to Ben McGraw about this, and the thing is with the biologicals, I don't know how if we can try them, get them to work, or if people listening to this are getting them to work. Look, they do work, but you're going to get consistently inconsistent results and not the result that you want. In the end, you need 90 to 95% control, where these are giving you about 50, 60%, which is not great, but if it's the only option, perfect. The other thing about it is could it be used into a program with synthetic chemicals? By all means, definitely, and look at it using it in your sort of lower pressure times. But when the pressure's on, there's nothing really there that I can find. So there's a few different types of products I use there. I'm going to see on the trade show if there is anything available, and see if there is anything in Australia. But yeah, I'm not holding my breath for it. Anyway, those are two talks there. I'll probably do another mini vlog tonight, maybe at my G'day Australia event with Toro Australia. So I'll look at doing that. I might even do a live one on Facebook there on Turf Management Australia. But well, that's it for now. So I've got to get into this Roseland Plaza. Still everything's a little bit quieter than usual. See how it goes tonight. Hope you enjoyed this. I'll talk to you all later on. That finishes off the education day one. There is education tomorrow and then trade show on Wednesday and Thursday. All right, hope's all well. I do see it's quite hot again. It's warmed up here a little bit. I think it's only about 10 degrees, but it's a little bit warmer. All right, talk to you all soon.